Hello everyone and welcome back to an interview with Mr. Rajesh Talwar. This is your host Ananya Sharma and we continue with the book The Vanishing of Subhash Bose, The Mystery Unlocked. So Rajesh, the book is finally out. What was the initial response like and when can we expect a printed version of it?
Hi Ananya, it's good to be with you and your team once again. You're right, the book is out on a Kindle version. I had a choice to release it on the 24th of January, which was Subhash Bose's birthday, or on the 26th of January, which is Republic Day. And I decided let's choose 26th January since that date is better known and the book is out. The initial response has been very good. It's already gone up to the top 10 in Kindle for political freedom category. So I'm very happy with that. The reviews have yet to come in and a printed version may take some time. I have to say that I did approach the top publishers in the country such as Penguin, Rupa, and they were not too hopeful because they said there are many books out on Mr. Bose in the recent years and they were not very confident. The thing is, of course, that publishers are all cowards and the initial success of the book shows that there was a demand for a book like this. There may have been books on Bose, but there's no book which discusses what really happened and no book which I believe discusses his real relevance. So the book is out, but I think it's in order to do another couple of episodes just to wrap up what we've been discussing.
Alright, so in the last episode we discussed the Shah Nawaz Commission. So let's now discuss about the second commission, the G.D. Khosla Commission. Can you tell us about it?
Yes, Ananya. I think last time we spoke about the Shah Nawaz Commission and we spoke about how the commission's conclusions were flawed. And roughly 15 years, 1.5 decades after the first commission, the second commission was appointed. This was appointed by Nehru's daughter Indira Gandhi. And in the previous commission, there were complaints that there was nobody with a judicial background. There should have been Justice Binod Pal, who should have been the chairman instead of Shah Nawaz. So this time, a retired judge from the Punjab High Court was appointed by Indira Gandhi, and he was a one-man commission. So we don't have to discuss this commission's report in great detail because I can very briefly point out some things which were wrong with the commission, which lead us to conclude that the commission was not fair in its conclusions.
Okay, so you think the committee's conclusions were flawed. Can you tell us why is it that you think that way and what were the conclusions?
Ananya, there are three things which strike me about the second commission, the G.D. Khosla, Justice G.D. Khosla Commission, which suggests that it was biased. Although they made a correction the first time, on the second occasion by choosing somebody with a judicial background, which was a flaw in the first commission. But then there's also the question of integrity and thoroughness. So Justice Khosla, unlike the previous commission, was permitted by Mrs. Gandhi to go to Taiwan to visit the site of the crash. So when he reached the site of the crash, it was found that the photographs which were produced before the original commission, they did not match with the site of the crash. The site of the crash showed the mountains to be very far away. And in the photographs, they are much closer. Or maybe it's the other way around. Now the question is, obviously, if you're looking at Mount Everest, if you take a photograph of Mount Everest from Kathmandu, it's going to look very different from Mount Everest from base camp. So either somebody has moved the mountains, which is not possible, or the committee should have recognized that this is a clear discrepancy in the documentary evidence. But Justice Khosla does not accept this. He finds a reason to say that, oh, no, it doesn't matter, because the documents were never proved. He relies upon a hyper-technicality. Because, for example, if tomorrow there's an accident in Noida or Delhi, then the police come, they take photographs. The police photographer, then he appears in court and he says, yes, I took the photographs. You know, there's a formal way of proving those photographs. So this was not done before the original Shah Nawaz committee. So Justice Khosla says, oh, so the photographs were never proved. That's why we cannot set aside the conclusions. So he's actually relying on a hyper-technicality. And that's one major flaw in his report. There's a second flaw, an even bigger flaw. And that is that he's permitted to go to Taiwan, but when he's in Taiwan, he doesn't meet with the Taiwanese government authorities to ask them, did the crash take place? Are there any newspaper reports about it? Can you tell us more about it? What is the historical archives tell us about such a crash? He doesn't do any of that. So it's just he goes to the site of the crash, he finds some reason to say that the documents are okay, and then he doesn't do anything else. It's like a pilgrim goes to the Ganges. If a pilgrim goes to the Ganges, would he not take a dip in the river? I mean, that is the whole purpose of going to the Ganges. So Justice G.D. Khosla, he travels all the way to Taiwan, but he doesn't fix up any appointment with any of the Taiwanese government authorities. He doesn't even meet them for a few minutes. Now, I have been to Taiwan. You know, as part of my interest in writing this book, I have visited Taiwan, I have visited Japan, and I know the Taiwanese are very meticulous people. They are like the Japanese in this regard. So they keep their historical documentation very carefully. For Justice Khosla not to have met with them, that suggests that there was an agenda driving him. That the conclusions he eventually came to, which were that the crash took place and Mr. Bose died in the crash, that these were predetermined conclusions. There's a third reason why I believe that his conclusions were flawed, and that is because soon after he published his report saying, yes, there was a crash and Mr. Bose died in the crash, soon after that, he wrote a book on Mrs. Gandhi, who had appointed him, praising her to the skies. It's a hagiography, and it is deservedly out of print. So these were things which raised suspicions about his report, because why would you, in the same year you publish an important national level report, write a book praising the Prime Minister to the skies? There's a saying in law that justice must not only be done, justice must seem to be done. So clearly his bona fides, his integrity is called into question. It's like during that same period, somebody wrote a book on Sanjay Gandhi. Sanjay Gandhi, the world's wisest wizard. So that also is clearly a hagiography, also deservedly out of print. So I think these three reasons, we don't have to discuss the Justice G.D. Khosla report in detail. These three reasons are good enough for me personally to feel that this report was biased, motivated, and clearly flawed. I should add, though, that there were some British historians, British writers who supported the report, who said that Mr. Khosla's report was very meticulous, very thorough. But these were the same people who had rubbished the conclusions of Subhash Bose, who had published his dissenting report as far as the previous report, previous commission was concerned. So I encourage viewers to watch the previous episodes. It will give them a full picture. But suffice to say that Justice Khosla, his commission's report, very, very flawed.
Okay, so there was another committee, Justice Mukherjee's committee. So can you tell us which government led to the creation of this committee, and what is the background of this committee?
Ananya, good question. We're coming to the end of our series, and we need to talk about the Justice Mukherjee Commission in a little detail. A bit about the circumstances you wanted to know. So 27 years passed after the Justice G.D. Khosla Commission, and there was a demand once again in Calcutta somebody filed a PIL, a public interest litigation in the Calcutta High Court, saying that we are not satisfied with what has been done so far. Both the commissions have been flawed. Directing the High Court, requesting the High Court, please direct the central government to appoint a third commission. And there were not many hopes that the petition would succeed. The petition claimed, the petitioner said there are hundreds and hundreds of files, there are thousands of documents which the government is keeping secret from us. Please appoint a committee. Calcutta being what it is, surprisingly, the Calcutta High Court said there should be a third commission to investigate this matter. The petitioner has given enough prima facie proof that there should be such a commission. So it directed the central government, please appoint a commission. What is interesting is that for the first time, there was a non-Congress government in power. This was the A.B. Vajpayee government. And under orders from the Calcutta High Court, they appointed a third commission, a one-man third commission, which was the Justice Mukherjee Commission. And this commission was to find out. So finally, since the judge was a retired Supreme Court judge, secondly, he was a Bengali, thirdly, there was a non-Congress government in power, there was hope that this judge would be allowed access to important documents and his conclusions would set the record straight.